What's up, guys? This is Johnny Resendiz with our very own Garrett Podell here at the Star in Frisco, talking all about Cowboys ahead of Halloween weekend. Speaking of spooky, scary, downright horrifying, how about that Cowboys defense, Garrett? Another tough performance against the Denver Broncos, and it was so bad that Brian Schottenheimer has actually been attending a lot of these defensive meetings. Is that something or nothing in your eyes, Garrett?
I think it's something. I actually just wrote a story about it for CBSSports.com. Go ahead and check it out for all the details. But I'll give you a little bit here. I mean, Brian Schottenheimer told us he's going into those defensive meetings significant amount more. Now, for context, Brian Schottenheimer is the offensive play caller, so obviously he's a full plate dealing with the offensive side of the football. But this isn't the first time he's done this. When he was first brought on the Cowboys coaching staff as a consultant under Mike McCarthy's staff in 2022, he was with Dan Quinn, who was the then defensive coordinator, and that's really when he first started giving the offensive perspective to the room, and that's something that defensive tackle Osa Odigizua said he really finds impactful to see kind of from the offensive perspective. So the Cowboys players certainly are welcoming it. Matt Eberflus, defensive coordinator, told us here on Thursday that it's very beneficial. So Brian Schottenheimer, he's desperate to get this Cowboys defense around. They're averaging over 31 points per game allowed, and there's never been a team to win a playoff game if they've entered the playoffs averaging over 30 points per game. So it's clearly an issue that has to be tightened up, and but right now there's really no easy fixes given all the injuries in the secondary. We saw Trayvon Diggs in the rehab group. He's on IR. Safety Malik Hooker, toe, on IR. Yep. Donovan Wilson, limited in practice today with elbow and shoulder, and he missed last week. So no real easy fixes here.
Well, the good news is that they are welcoming of Brian Schottenheimer to be in those meetings. You know, there's countless examples of some hostility between coaches in that certain scenario. With the Arizona defense, though, Arizona offense, what do you think sticks out, and do you think it could be a game where the Cowboys defense can kind of bounce back?
I think this should be and hopefully could be a get-right game for Dallas' defense. I mean, Arizona, they're banged up on offense. I mean, running back-wise, James Conner's out for the year. Their backup running back, he also got hurt. So now they're on running backs 3 and 4. And Kyler Murray, this is likely going to be his first game back from a foot sprain. He was officially limited at practice today, but the assumption is that he will be back here by Monday. He's missed the last 2 games. Arizona was on bye last week. So I think it could be, but, you know, it's going to be one of those things. They really have to keep Kyler Murray in the pocket. I mean, Kenny Clark, he said that's really the biggest thing is not letting him get outside the numbers, because if he does, it could be a long day. And we saw what happened when Bo Nix had time to throw last week, and it was ugly for Dallas.
Yeah, I kind of want to go a little bit further into that. How much of an impact does Kyler Murray make in that Cardinals offense? You know, obviously we talk a lot about his undefeated record at AT&T Stadium, but he's a mobile quarterback with a very unique style, Garrett.
I agree. Although it's interesting to note, Johnny, that in the 2 games that he was out, the Cardinals actually averaged more passing yards per game with backup Jacoby Brissett in Drew Petzing's offense, the offensive coordinator for Arizona. But I do think from a matchup perspective this week with the Cowboys, it's a big deal because this is a Cowboys defensive front where on the edges you have second-round rookie Donovan Ezeraku. He's kind of come on with a couple sacks, increasing that pass rush win rate the last couple weeks. But that's going to be a real challenge for these guys because outside of Ezeraku, Donovan Fowler and Sam Williams, their performance has kind of been up and down this year. So it'll be really interesting to see if they can contain him, because if they can't, it could get ugly.
And this goes hand in hand with my last question here. 13 days separates the Cardinals game and the Raiders game the next time the Cowboys hit the field. And in between that stretch is going to be the NFL trade deadline. Do you feel like, and we talked about this a little bit before, do you feel like the Cowboys are going to make a move, and should they make a move over on a, I guess, all-pro, Pro Bowl type of guy on defense, similar to what they did in 2018 when they got Amari Cooper? That obviously changed their season significantly. Do you feel like not only should they do that, but if they did, it would make that much of an impact?
I mean, there's a lot to unpack here with this one, Johnny. I mean, Stephen Jones said at the league meetings last week in New York that if they were going to make a trade, they would be angling for type of frontline players. That's kind of what you said, the Pro Bowl, all-pro caliber guys. Somebody like a Las Vegas Raiders edge rusher Max Crosby, who's
Colleyville's own.
right. He was a local product, and I think really should they make the trade, this is a team that is maybe going to look to re-sign George Pickens, who we chatted with him after practice on Thursday about would he like to be here. He said he wouldn't mind, but Jerry Jones hasn't yet engaged him in contract negotiations just yet. And then there's also, with some of the high-priced guys on offense and re-signing Deron Bland, they could probably use some affordable depth, draft guys, and holding on to picks might be potentially more prudent. Although, if they can replace the lost production of a Micah Parsons with a Max Crosby, that would be totally understandable if you can do that. Outside of getting somebody like that, I would hold off on a mid-tier caliber acquisition.
Always good to talk to you, Garrett. We'll see
Likewise,
what the
John.
Cowboys will do against the Cardinals, not on Sunday, but on Monday Night Football.